Welcome back to Currently with Curator, where I share my latest style obsessions, all of which you can access through my shopping community, Curator. Clearly, my obsession with Brigette Romanek runs so deep, and I am thrilled to announce that she's curated a special collection, which means you can get a taste of her style. You have no idea how major that is. From luxe loungewear to statement-making serving pieces, the collection is filled with products that are guaranteed to elevate your everyday. Even better, listeners can use code CLIMB25 to take 25% off your first purchase. We know these stylish pieces are going to go really fast. So head over to curator.com. That's CURATEUR.com and shop the Brigette Romanek edit now for your chance to get her personal picks for a steal. And trust me, you will not want to miss this. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Zoe, and you're listening to Climbing in Heels. This show is all about celebrating the extraordinary women who will be sharing their incredible journeys to the top, all while staying glamorous. Today with me, we have one of my very dear friends and Los Angeles' most sought-after interior designers, Brigette Romanek. She was chosen for Elle Decor's A-List in 2020 and 2021, and some of her clients include Casual, Beyonce, Gwyneth Paltrow, Demi Moore, Joe Jonas, and many, many more, including me. Also, not to mention, she is an AD100 designer as well for many seasons. I am so excited to speak with Brigette about how she balances her work life and her mom life. So let's get started. I like to kind of go back to when you were little, Brigette. Yeah. You were this young girl. I can only imagine your eyes taking up half your head and, you know, the smile that goes from east to west. And really just like what was a dream? You grew up where? Chicago, right?
Chicago, yeah. First of all, Climbing in Heels, that name is so genius. I think it's just so genius. And it's so you to have come up with that because it's just so good. I'm just so proud of you and impressed by you, I have to tell you.
I love you. Right back at you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you were one of my very first clients. You were one of the ones that said, let's do this.
Yes.
Like, you know,
yes.
And trusted me. And
yes.
It was just like, yes. So that will remain forever in my heart. And you for so many reasons, not only that, obviously. But
I'd also like to point out that every single thing that you got for my house, like what was that, 10 years ago now, is now in my new house. Just hung the globe lights. Woo-hoo! Just hung the globe lights. And that's, by the way, and that's your magic. We don't let go of pieces that you get because I'm not over them in any way.
See, I love that. And that's hopefully that's what I leave with my clients. But really, you were, before I was even a business, you know, you were when I was working with friends and just sort of like, yeah, I love this. I love doing this. So again, thank you for that. But yes, I was born in Chicago, and my mom has always been a single mom. I mean, she got married a few times, but it's mainly been she and I. My mom is one of the original like old school rock and rollers. And so she was always like, let's go to wherever the work is and let's, you know, uproot and go over here and let's go here. Yeah, she's one of the most sort of famous background singers on the planet. And she, sung with everyone from David Bowie to Mary J. Blige to, anyone you can think of. She would do duets with Marvin Gaye on stage. She was, you know, with
this
Luther
makes
Vandross.
So much sense now. Okay.
Our journey was just that, yes, started in Chicago, but then came to LA when I was 5. And then she's like, okay, we're going to head to New York. I was always the new kid. And my mom was always the one who would come into the new school, you know, and she had on heels and she was glamorous and she had this like body and this smile that wouldn't quit. And I would always be like, oh my gosh, because my mom would come in just like, you know,
hot
this
mom.
Ball of hot mom
alert,
hot
like
mom.
Coming in.
I actually, it was so crazy. And I actually remember someone saying to me, that's your mom. It was so funny. Like, yes, that's my mom. But yeah, I mean, we moved around a lot, and that really completely has shaped who I am as a person, a designer, everything, as a mom, all of it. Yeah.
That is so unbelievable and makes so much sense. Just about, you know, when like you learn about someone's family, it starts to sort of, you have these like aha moments about this person that's like been in your life for so long. But I think when you meet people later in life as adults, you don't always meet their parents, right?
Yeah,
You don't,
true.
I mean,
That's
I've
true.
seen your mom a million times, but
That's
like
true.
always at things and not like where I would sit and really understand her, right? But okay, so did you like at that point, were you a good student? Were you like, did you?
No. Let me stop you right there. No, sis, I was not. I was not. But what's funny is that,
do you tell the girls that?
I do. I'm honest with them.
See, I wasn't either, and I've let it slip like once or twice because the minute I open that gate, Sky's going to be like, "Mom, you didn't like reading either, Mom. You didn't read."
Oh yeah, no,
either,
you'll pay for it in some sort of way. You will absolutely pay for that. I can tell you that for sure. But it's my mom she never studied and she got all A's. She even got scholarships. Like that's who my mom was. So one would think I would be good at school, but no, I was not. And I think being new all the time didn't help either. So I would have to sort of try to get into their system and their curriculum. And if it was a different state, so all of that sort of factored into it. And then when I was in ninth grade, I just left, walked out one day and never went back. And I think for me, it was now going to be in another school. And I just thought, and I went and sat down and they're telling me about what I needed to have and what I needed to have learned and all this. And I just went, no. And I left. And I just immediately, that was it.
That was it. You never went through 12 and
Nope.
See?
And then I just started
extraordinary. That is extraordinary. And you learn more working in that first year than you learn in anything.
Yes.
I mean,
100%. I mean, I definitely wish that I had finished my education.
Sure.
And then there are other moments I'm like, nope, this is exactly my path and as it should be. I do tell them what happened because I don't have any pictures to show them from my high school graduation or from college or anything. So it's really, but I do tell them I wish I had.
Right.
And so I'm happy that they're able to do that and proud of them that they are moving forward. But now kids are so advanced and so aware. And so
it's actually unreal. It's actually terrifying and unreal. It's like, it's like amazing and terrifying all at the same time.
At the same time.
And I'm exactly like, true. I can no longer, I think at third grade, I was like, I looked at Roger, I go, okay, math is going to be all you. I'm like, I got English and writing, but I'm done now. Like, I just got lost. I just had to in a pandemic, try and teach Skylar fractions. I was like, oh, no. Ooh. I wasn't good the first time. I'm even worse now. And I'm like Googling common denominators and I'm like,
all
Jesus
of it.
Christ.
Oh, all of it. And what's funny is, my girls just sort of look at me like, maybe we won't ask Mom.
Oh.
So it's like, well, I might know.
Yeah, but Mom can teach you a lot about life.
This is that they know.
Right.
And you know what's great too is, you think your kids don't necessarily see you. And I think my hope and all of us as parents is that each generation is more evolved than the one before.
Yes.
Right. So our kids are going to be smarter than us. That's what we hope. That's what we want. And more conscious than us. So that's what we really want. But sometimes when they come at you with something like, ugh, stop being so clever, so smart, it's annoying.
Well, no, I mean, they are. I mean, my kids, I feel like my boys are smarter than me already. Not in life, I get it. But I think in education, 100%. Okay. So then at what point, so you started working at what, 15?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did.
So you've been working your entire life. Like at what point were you like, okay, this is the dream. This is where I see myself. Like, I want to be a designer. I want to be creative. I don't like business, but I like doing this. Or like, at what point did you go from like Brigette, daughter of single mom, working at a young age, figuring out life as you go, to here I go? And where were you at that point, like in the country, in the world?
I was here in LA and my mom had moved to New York. And so I just thought, and she said, we're heading to New York now. And I was sort of tired of moving. And
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. At that age, I just said, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to figure it out. And it has been that journey ever since, really. And I'm still learning all the time. I always knew I would do something creative because that's just where my
Of
heart
course.
lies. And I initially thought I'll be an attorney, but for me, that was creative because it was a way to help people and come up with an argument that
Did
would
you just
help
say an
them.
attorney?
I did. I
I
know.
love
I know.
you.
I really,
Bless.
and I thought, because I thought that'll help people and that'll,
It was like me with being a psychiatrist. That's what I wanted to do.
right,
Yeah.
right. So it was kind of like this is a good thing. And so I didn't do that. I ended up singing, which is very fun, very funny.
It's like
And I
fortuitous.
loved it. Oh my gosh, I loved it, and I had a lot of fun. But then I started making handbags. That was crazy fun.
Which is how I
Um,
met you,
yes, which
through
is so
Allie.
crazy. Yes, that's right. Our beautiful Allie. And so I started doing that, which I loved a lot. But then I was going to have, and they were so popular so fast, which I did not see coming. And then I was pregnant with my second child, and we were moving to London. Um, so I kind of thought this is a great time for me to just stop and think about if I want to proceed with bags or
Mhm.
what I really want to do.
Yep.
And so I hung out with my girls for a few years. We
Mhm.
were living in London, came back, and then I had all of these extra bags that had been in its storage. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a little trunk show and sell these bags. And that's when I moved into Hancock Park. And so the trunk show was great, and all of these fabulous, lovely people came, and they were buying the bags, but they more so liked what I had done with the house. So, so, so it was more like, yeah, the bags are great. Thank you so much.
But let's talk about the house.
Yeah, exactly. But who did this? Who are you working with? I was like, me. And that's how I started. It was really organic.
Isn't that incredible? Because one of the things I always talk about in interviews, and everyone's always like, how did you become a stylist? There was no plan. There was no plan. Didn't lay that out. Didn't write that down. Didn't set that goal.
Nope.
It was something that I had organically been doing since I was a child without knowing that it had a label on it. Yeah. And my guess is for you, you're always making things beautiful. You were probably always attracted to creating and doing things. And I think that is so interesting. Okay, so in Hancock Park, so you make this beautiful house, which I had seen, which is insane. And then all of a sudden, you're like, I have two young girls, which, by the way, I'm obsessed with. And for those of you listening, I cannot imagine more like beautiful, smart, incredible girls. It's ridiculous, actually.
I actually think your boys aren't real.
Well, we Bridget and I have always like hoped they get married someday or like end up together in each other's lives at some point. So I was maybe your like second client, right? Like you're something like that. Kelly.
That's right.
Kelly was your first.
That's right. And she came to the trunk show she just came to the sample sale,
right?
More so say. And then she had said that they had bought a place in Malibu and that they were working with someone and it wasn't going so well. And would I help? And I just shrugged my shoulders. I was sort of like, okay, sure.
I remember this so well.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Like, okay. Yeah. And then we were at her house and you started talking to me about your house. Yep. And then you said, come on in. And you opened the doors for me. And I was just like, amazing. It was great.
And absolutely. I didn't try and control anything, I remember, because the only thing stopping us was Roger and his budget. Because because other than that, I just was like, Bridget, whatever you think. And it's interesting. I love me some Raj. Because I do remember, and I think this goes for me as well. And I compare a little bit about styling homes to styling people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I actually find your job much harder. And people have always said to me like, oh, you must do homes as well. Or like, you must love to do homes. And the thing is like, yes, I do because I know what I love, right? Like I know what I love.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't want to do it. And it's because there is such huge commitment involved in home, right? And you're investing. And when it's clothing, you could say, oh, I want to buy a new handbag. I want to change my outfit by adding a color. And you do that in the home. You do it with pillows and blankets and tables and little like little things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the
Exactly.
commitment lies in the couch or
Yep.
that light fixture,
So
and
true. Yep.
everything affects
It's
the
true.
other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh,
add
absolutely.
spatial relations to that,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
which is like,
It's really true.
that's when
It's
I
so
start to
true.
get a little like, I get hives.
Yeah.
So, but I think there's no questioning your gift. And I think that's a
Oh,
thing.
thank
You
you.
don't have training in it. I wasn't
Yeah.
trained to be a stylist, right?
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
figured this out as you went,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
I actually have found that there are things you can't learn in textbooks and you can't
That's
learn
true. That's very true.
you learn through experience, but I would say
Hmm.
now my guess is even when you and I started, you were still I was more confident in you than you were in
Hmm.
yourself.
That's
You
true.
were like, well,
That's
we could
really
do
true.
this or we could do this or we could do these stools or we could do these stools and I would
Yes,
go,
that's true.
whatever you think. I trust
Yeah.
you, whatever you think. But
It's true.
you weren't there yet of like,
Yeah.
no, these, no, these.
Yeah.
And so I would turn it to you and go, if it were your house, which ones would you do?
Yeah.
And
That's
that
true.
was how we got to the answer, right? Like,
Yeah.
which would you
Yeah.
do?
It's very true.
And
It's
I
very
remember
true.
it like it was yesterday. But I think now my guess is you go into homes and you're much
Yeah.
more, you probably very much collaborate, right?
Yes. Yes.
But like,
I do.
who, like, what have been some of the challenges? Because I know working for myself, and
Hmm.
you and I have spoken about
Right.
it. Like on the outside, it's
The
like,
business.
Brigette, you're crushing it. You have these sickest clients, like da da da.
Right.
But you need like 10 of you at all times, right?
Yes, yes. Interior design is it's an amazing business, and I do get to do what I love to do.
Yes, which is the
And
gift.
so,
That's a life gift.
which it really is. But it doesn't stop it from being challenging, and it doesn't stop it from being hard at times. It doesn't stop any of that. I mean, you have to have really sincere passion for anything you're going to do. Otherwise, it comes through, and people know, it's like an artist when they're singing and you can feel the ambition in their voice
Mhm.
versus the real feel, things like that. And I think my passion always comes through. And what I really work to do with each client is I take it on like it's my first job.
Mhm.
Obviously, I
Me
have
too.
tons of information,
Yeah.
in my head and all these incredible things that I've learned that I take with me. But it's also learning to speak the science of every new client and what's important to them and what means something. And I have clients who say to me, listen, here's the key. Just not even do what you do. And that's great. And then I have the clients who want to know every single detail, even down to stitching, so whatever it is, it's all completely fine. And
What do you prefer? I've
oh,
been
that's a
asked
good
this about
question.
styling because I had people
Yeah.
I had clients that would go, Rachel, just tell me what to wear, tell me what to do, just do it. And
Right.
they didn't even have a mirror in the room. And then the
Right.
other one wanted to know
Right.
what color stitching is on the
Yep.
gown versus the
Yep.
beading color versus
Yeah,
the
it's
train
true.
length. I mean, I seriously love that noise. It's the best kind of notification. That's another sale on Shopify, the platform trusted by millions of entrepreneurs to create their online store and so much more. Shopify makes it incredibly simple to sell to anyone from anywhere. Whether you're selling fashion and beauty products, holiday decor, or customized gifts, start selling with Shopify and join the platform that's simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide. Once your store's live, Shopify makes getting paid simple by instantly accepting every type of payment. With Shopify, you'll customize your online store to your brand, discover new customers, and build the relationships that will keep them coming back. Shopify covers all the sales channels to successfully grow your business, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform, even across social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, of course. And thanks to 24/7 support and free on-demand business courses, Shopify is here to help you succeed every step of the way. It's how every minute new sellers around the world make their first sale with Shopify, and now you can too. I can say honestly, firsthand, just how game-changing Shopify is. Our company, Curator, moved onto the platform in 2019. And since then, we've been able to grow and expand our business in the most significant ways. Starting a business definitely comes with its own set of challenges, as many of you may know. So let Shopify be the tool you use for success. I promise you will never regret it. Running a successful business means getting the insights you need to grow wherever you are. With Shopify's single dashboard, you'll manage orders, shipping, and payments from anywhere. Now it's your turn to try Shopify for free and start selling anywhere. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/Zoe, all lowercase ZOE. Go to shopify.com/Zoe to start selling online today. Shopify.com/Zoe.
Well, the dream would be someone telling me what's really important to them and how they want to feel in the space.
Right.
Because that I can convey through my love language with design, and I can really shape that into something, so if we walk into a room and they say, oh, I love the light in this room and it really makes me feel so happy and joyous, I even look at obviously the way that they the conversations we have, the way that they speak about the space, but also I look at what they're wearing. I look at everything. I take it in because design, as we know, is in the details. So if I could have all of that information and they just let me go, it's really, really, that's
do your thing. That's why I hired you.
Yes.
Do you?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. But what's great also is like working with clients like you and people who have seen so much and have access to so many things. It's really fun to be able to research and show new things, or, it helps me grow as a designer.
Sure.
And I feel like if one stops growing, then they might as well give up. So it's really a joy, but there's a lot of detail that has to be figured out before you do things.
And everybody wants you there. Everybody wants you there. I found that's one of the biggest challenges, but you've recently hired some team.
But I decide on what jobs we're doing, and I do the design, but I also, at that point, I can give it to the team so that I can go on and do other things. Right. And what I've learned in business that is not easy, but is important, is that, you trust, you have to trust others and to help.
And it's hard.
And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard when it's your baby. It's hard when you can see where you want it to go and how you want it to move forward, and you see all those things. And then hoping that someone else is feeling the same way about it if you're not there, or if they're doing something on your firm's behalf. So I feel very fortunate to have some people that have really been aligned with how I work and think about things. And it's a beautiful thing to have like the team meetings and all that stuff. It's really, really great. But yes, people do want you there. And so I go. I definitely
You're
go.
traveling all the time. And
yes,
I mean that, okay. So who would you say, because I do think mentors are so important. Is there someone that kind of was a game changer for you in that respect, where you were like, okay, and by the way, it could be a client that like made you do this, or someone who took a chance on you, know, because for me, that was like Tommy Hilfiger when I was 24 years old, gave me the job of my life that I didn't think I was ready to do. And I did it, and it changed my life, because then everyone else was like, okay, she can do this, right?
Right.
Is there that person for you that believed in you so much before you even believed in yourself?
Well, that's a great question, and I'm being very honest when I say, I'm looking at her. You guys, but seriously, I didn't know that design could really be a job. I didn't,
because you loved
grow up. I just loved it, so I didn't know, and it wasn't like I grew up knowing who the amazing interior designers were. I didn't know that was a career. I didn't know any of that. I just knew that when we would change, apartments or houses all the time, how I would feel going into those spaces and what I needed to do to make it my own. And so that just sort of stuck with me. And then when I had people like you who said, oh, come on, girl, let's do this. It was like,
I didn't question it. I didn't even, I mean, literally Raj and I were like, love Brigette. She can do this. We didn't even like think about it. That was the thing. And you're so talented and you're
thank you so much.
delicious and wonderful. And the smile that doesn't quit. And I think, you know, and I think that's an important part of the job in a way, because there's talented people, but I think that the energy you bring to a room is so unique. And I think that is something that isn't a given in any industry. You know, you can have equally talented lawyers or doctors that you go to, but you're always going to choose the one that has that energy and that positivity and makes you feel good. And
that's right.
So, and I think that's an important lesson, I think, in anybody's journey to really not underestimate. And
I agree.
And also, I think just watching you sort of become this powerhouse of a designer with 2 daughters and working so hard now and loving what you do. I think this to me is probably the most important question, because the struggle's real as a working mom.
Oh, yes.
And you have girls that are at ages that, what are they now?
16 and 13.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Girl, you're in it.
Unreal. I am in it. I am in it.
But you're an extremely hands-on mom. And I think my question here is, how do you deal with I have to get on a plane to go do an install for my biggest client? Girls, I can't X tomorrow. I can't. How is that for you? Like, how do you, and do they get it? And do they root for you, or do they say, Mom, please don't leave? Like, how do you? Because that's, I mean, that's the thing for us, I think, is the hardest part of all of this.
It is. It is the hardest part of all of it. And, you know, my mom always worked, so I didn't know anything, you know, other than that. And I knew she loved me, but I knew that she had to work for us, you know. And I knew that, and it didn't stop it from being hard at times. It didn't stop me from wanting her there at times when she couldn't be. But I always knew her heart, and I always knew that she wanted to be. And so for the girls and I tell them all the time that I hope they find a passion in life. I hope that they find something that they are motivated by in their lives, and something that they want to do, something they feel called to. And I also tell them that I work for the family, you know, and they understand that. They really genuinely understand that. And I also tell them that they come first, that nothing is more important than they are, that I will drop anything, you know, to go and to be there for them. And I was at, you know, and Willow challenged me. I don't think she knew that I knew, but I was at an install and she said, Mom, I really need my hair braided for this basketball game and no one can do it. And I'm literally at an install. And, you know, luckily I was surrounded by the team. And, you know, on install days, at that point, we know everything by heart. So I said, you know, I'll be back in an hour. You know, so they continued to move the pieces in. I went home, braided her hair. Listen, I'm not a great braider, but she was happy.
I don't believe that.
Oh, yeah. But I am not. It's terrible. I think she took them out, but anyway. But yeah, but
as daughters do.
As daughters do. Right. But she's fully aware. They are fully aware how much they are loved, I think, to the point of nauseam. They roll their eyes at me at this point.
Good.
And, you know, sometimes you don't think that they see it, or they don't maybe recognize things. And then Willow will kill me for saying this, but she wrote me a card the other day, and the card, at the end of it, it just was like, Mom, I see you. You know, I see everything that you're doing. I see how hard you work for us. I see how hard, you know, she said she saw my passion. She saw what I was doing. She was proud. And that just,
your whole insides just collapsed, right?
Just forget it. Just forget it. It was really everything, because, you know, with teenagers, you can think that, it's not getting in there. They don't hear me. They don't see me. But she said, I see you.
And then in that moment, aren't you like maybe I'm doing this right, actually, right? It's those moments, actually. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, it's those moments.
It's almost, Bridget, like we need to hear them every once in a while say it in that weird
Absolutely.
way.
Absolutely.
Sky sent
We're
me.
human too.
We are. And it's funny because I
Yeah.
think as mothers, we
Mhm.
don't ask for anything back.
That's true.
You know, I don't want to
True.
say that dads do. I just think they maybe expect a little less. I don't want to generalize
Right.
that, but I think
Right.
we
Right.
give,
But I understand what you mean. Yeah.
like we give our every speck of our breath to our
Oh,
kids.
everything.
And I think you don't think like, hey, when are they ever going to say thank you or whatever?
Right.
But then when they do,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, they like
Oh, yeah.
notice what we're doing here. Like,
Yeah. I mean, and it just, oh my gosh, it was just insanely great. And even if I'm out of town and they call me to discuss something,
you'll
it
stop
just
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
And they know that. And I also make sure if I'm out of town that they are surrounded by people that love them dearly and they know have their back. And they never feel, I make sure that, and we have these discussions, that they don't feel I've just gone off and I've deserted them or doing anything, nothing like that. They know it's for us.
It makes me so happy. And to be honest, like girls are hard on their moms sometimes, they are.
Yes.
I mean, I am one, and my sister
yes.
and
Yeah.
I were very hard on my mom.
Well, you and I talk about that because I've asked you and you were like, it's okay, B.
It's
This is how it goes. Yeah,
it's okay. Yeah. Our moms are safe people. And that's so we can't breathe without you, but we also can't yell at anybody more. So it's like, it's just what it is.
Right. That's exactly right.
Were there ever any moments in this part of your journey where you said, I'm done, I'm over it, I want to quit? Like this, I've now been like drained enough. I've had enough bad experiences. I don't trust, whatever it is. Because I know for me throughout my styling career, I mean, there was multiple times where I was like, I'm done. If I get copied by this person, if I get bullied by this person, if I get if someone else tries to take me down, if I had a lot of that. I don't know if that exists in the world of interior design and in what you're doing, but obviously in fashion.
Yeah. Yes. Oh,
kind of known for that. Yes. But I imagine, because I know quite a few in your business, and what's interesting about you that I think is important for me to say, you never put people down. You always say, and even when I know you'd like to, maybe, you very politically go, we do a different thing. We do a different thing. That's their thing. And like, da-da-da. And I wish them well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This sounds really, maybe morbid, but I think that I'm going to die. So, we're all going to die, right?
That's one laugh, but I'm like...
But it's true. But that's one appointment we cannot miss, right? So how do I want to spend my time here? And that's really genuinely how I think. And it's... I
don't know why that made me laugh. Bridget, by the way, I'm putting that on my wall in quotes. Literally, I'm making this, like I'm incorporating that tagline into clothing, onto that's it. Okay.
But that's really...
No, you're right.
It's just true. That is the one appointment we cannot miss. And so how do I want to spend my time here? And what do I want to be doing with that time? Mm-hmm. And in most days I can, I apply that. Some days I can't. Some days it's hard and I feel really defeated or like, oh, this is really brutal. But for the most part, that's how I exist, and I won't get today back. And, I can be sad and I can feel that for a minute, but then I won't live there.
Yeah.
I won't live there. And, things that were so unbelievably hard and stressful, and I thought I couldn't move on, and how can I do it? In one moment, like, a month later, I'm like, what was that thing? That was,
Yeah.
And so I've learned that as well. And so I try to impart that on my girls as well, the things that are really, this girl said this today and stuff, and I
world
try to
is
tell
ending
them,
type thing.
Yes. Is that I totally understand that feeling. I've had that feeling. Some days I still have that feeling. But look, we're still, we're still here, and we're okay, and we're moving forward. And you know what? We're gonna die. So let's pick what we're gonna be super freaked out and stressed about, so and then that's kind of
It's
I've been moving
actually
about.
really, it's kind of awesome actually. And
It is.
it
It's
is
not
because it's
morbid.
almost like
It
when you
is.
put that there, it's actually the
Yeah.
opposite of morbid. It's actually
Exactly.
the opposite. It's
Exactly.
actually like, hey, this will end at some point, so
Yep.
let's just enjoy the ride,
Exactly.
right?
That's exactly right. And that's what I feel like, And so when I get into those moments, yes, I want to honor them and respect them. And if I can learn something from those moments, I want to take it with me. But you can't, don't live there. Don't live there.
And how do you,
There's plenty to do.
okay, I could ask you 60 more questions, but I'm going to let you go soon. And so, okay, for the girls,
Mhm.
do they love what you do? Like, do you feel like either of them are they creative? Are they academic? Are they both? Because I feel
Yeah.
like your children I find for me, I've seen being like an older mother and watching kids grow up.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you have two kids, one wants to do exactly and one wants nothing to do with it. Like,
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Willow she's so funny. I've asked her to try to control the eye roll with anything I'm talking about in terms of design. Because I'll say, like, Willow, oh my gosh, look at that color. And she's like, great. Yeah, great. And Isabel will pretend, she will feign interest. So we'll see. But she actually, my younger one, she actually does care about it more. So she'll ask me things in her room and my opinion, and she'll still do her own thing, but she
yeah,
wants to have the exchange
yeah.
about it, which is really sweet. Willow, on the other hand, she's just saying, "Oh, okay, mom, great, no, great, great, yeah, great." So I don't know at this point if they will, but Willow is very academic, and she really thrives in that arena. I don't know where I think she gets it from her grandmother, not from
Well,
me.
no, but I think it's her drive, it's
Yes,
more that,
yes, that's
I
the
think.
perfect way to say it.
It's her
That's the perfect
drive.
way to
And I
say it.
think at a
You're right.
very young age, when I was offering her like $10 to watch my kids at a dinner party, I was like, I know you're only like 12, but can you keep an eye on Sky? But I felt like she wants to have a voice in this world. And it's very clear. And I think that the same with like her girlfriends. And I think they want to, it's very much like my niece who just graduated college. Like they
Oh yeah.
find their voice young and they
Mhm.
want to use it very
That's true.
powerfully, very
That's true.
powerfully.
That's her.
And I think she gets that from you. It's not about textbook. It's about like, and I think my last question to you would be, I know the impact you've had on me. I know the impact you have on all the girls around you and the people that work with you or that just know and love you because you're Bridget and you walk into the room and everybody's happy, right? Everybody's happy. It's like,
Oh
Bridget's
my
here.
gosh.
Yay. Like even Roger's like, Bridget, because you're like a ray of sunshine. And so, but a real ray of sunshine, not like the pretend ray of
Thank,
sunshine, not like
thank
she's
you.
just making everybody happy. It's that beautiful energy that you bring into a room. But what is the impact you want to have on this world and in this life? Like what's the difference that you'd like to make? Because obviously you're doing it with your girls. Do you ever think about that?
Because I was always like changing schools or the new kid, I would feel shy or uncomfortable and nervous and butterflies in my stomach all the time. And my grandmother would say to me, I just want you to know that every room that you walk in is better because you're in it.
That's what I just
And,
said.
and so, and
See, I
so,
see her.
see, yes. And then for me, what that means, not like, hey, I'm
No, no,
here,
no.
not that.
You're actually the
No,
opposite of that.
I just want it to be that the people that I love and am in their lives, that I brought them joy. I brought them joy, or I supported them, or lifted them up in some way, or was just there. And that's for me the most important thing. More than anything, I want everybody to know that I'm here and that will always come running, if anybody needs me. And so I just want to be thought of as a really great friend and a great parent, a great daughter, and people's homes that I've worked in and have the privilege of working in, that when I close the door and leave, that I've left them joy.
Yeah.
That's what I want to, that's what I want to do, is leave people joy.
It's amazing, because I didn't even know that your grandmother said that. And the fact that we just did like a jinx, because I want to sort of close on saying that I think that you and I have been friends for so many years.
Yeah.
And I always say, she's my sis, right? Like,
That's
and
right.
I don't really say that about people, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you're a very low maintenance friend. I'm a very low maintenance friend, because we get the fact that we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
But if
100%.
you need me, I'm there in 40 seconds. If I need you, you're here in 40 seconds.
That's right. 39.
39 seconds. And I think that we have always just gotten each other. Yeah, and I think that every room is better because you're in it. And that's not being nice to you. That is truth. Said it before I knew Grandma said it. And I'm proud of you. And without being condescending, but I think to watch you go from, can I do this, to literally being one of the most talked about designers in the world and doing the homes of really good people, but happen to be very, very high profile people. And we're not going to name drop, but if I did, everybody would lose their freaking minds. And I think Brigette goes in and waves her magic wand. It takes a minute because she likes to be very meticulous about it. Yeah. But I love you madly. And I've loved to watch you climb in heels.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm so honored that you thought of me. And I love watching you climb in heels, sis. I do.
I love you. Kiss those girls for me, please.
I will. I absolutely will.
It's that time in the show where I answer 2 listener questions. So let's see what we have today. First question, holiday dressing, and I'm 7 months pregnant. Help. Okay, I've been there. I was actually, I think, 9 months pregnant. And wow, was that not the easiest thing. But the good news is it's cozy season. And in my opinion, the best time to be pregnant, because big sweaters, long cardigans, cozy leggings with like tall boots and long scarves are all, it's really that time of the year. So it really works. And I just say, like, embrace it. I think, you have to know your body and sort of what is working the best for you right now, because some women, everybody carries differently. And I think that if your legs are still your best asset right now, then stay with mini dresses, show the legs. If you can still wear heels, do it, be safe. Or, if your upper body, like your shoulders and your arms are still looking great and you're feeling really confident, then show them off. Do an off the shoulder little baby doll dress or a maxi dress. And again, sometimes in pregnancy, a voluminous dress or an unpure dress actually creates more volume. And sometimes really just embracing your bump and wearing something that's sort of bodycon and stretchy and just show your tummy is also really beautiful. So really whatever makes you feel the most confident. And remember to do a good lip and do a cute hairstyle and really play up jewelry when you're pregnant, because you're a little self-conscious. So it's sort of like just bring the attention to your face, to your jewels, and just feel like your gorgeous pregnant self. Second question, any packing tips? It's impossible for me to travel with just a carry-on in the winter months. Okay, I really relate to that. And I have to say, when we go skiing, it is the hardest thing because Roger wants me to take one suitcase, which, hey, that's not possible. Because let's be real, like 2 coats and a sweater and a pair of boots fills an entire suitcase. So a carry-on in the winter is really, really hard. If you can do things really far in advance, I recommend shipping your luggage because you can do it very cost effectively if you just send it like ground. on, UPS or whatever you feel most comfortable in. But if you can plan ahead and you're going to see your family or you're going somewhere that you trust that will hold your stuff, send it so you don't have to deal with like flights and waiting for your luggage and delays and luggage lost and all of that. But I would say don't torture yourself. Like it really is impossible to travel for more than 48 hours in the winter with a carry-on because more than one sweater can't fit in a carry-on with a pair of boots. One thing I will say that is really helpful is, well, first of all, if you're really trying for the carry-on, you kind of got to roll your stuff really tight. You have to roll it or you have to take it off hangers and lay it incredibly flat. It's the only way. You can't make piles. Roger fought me on this for years, and now he's crossed over to my side and lays them flat. But, you have to really think about where you're going, what 2 pairs of shoes will last however long you're going, what 4 items you can fit in your carry-on that you can wear 20 different ways. But I'm here to tell you it's hard. Take a suitcase. Okay, don't forget to submit your questions for next week's episode. All you have to do is DM us your questions to @climbinginheelspod on Instagram, and I might just answer your question. Brigette Romanek is absolutely one of the sweetest, smiliest, but yet most badass women that I know. And I'm so excited that we got to really get into her upbringing, her background, because it's funny how you can be friends with someone in your adult life for so long and not really know that much about their upbringing in depth, because I think you're living in the here and now and you get bits and pieces, but not the real nitty gritty. And I think for me, learning that Brigette was raised by a single mother who was constantly on the road and that she was literally a new kid in school every year of her life, basically, which that's just even hard for me to wrap my head around. But then at the same time, it also really explains so much of why she's so adaptable. She's so friendly. She's so gracious and just always a ray of sunshine to be around. So I think it actually was like a piece to the puzzle that I was so excited to learn. And then also, that she finished her education quite early. And, I always go back to your education does not define who you are as an adult. And I think, Brigitte's one of the smartest women I know and incredibly successful. And I think it just shows there's, all kinds of education in life. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to Climbing in Heels. And don't forget to rate a review wherever you get your podcast because I love it. While you're at it, follow me at Rachel Zoe and at Climbing in Heels on Instagram for more updates on upcoming guests, episodes, and all things Curator.